I have been flooded with your messages all week asking if Jadeveon Clowney is the missing piece for our defense. The report is out that the veteran pass rusher remains a free agent and is a prime candidate for the Minnesota Vikings to target as training camp approaches. Adding a proven commodity like Clowney to Brian Flores' scheme could be the difference between a good and a championship-caliber pass rush. There are two angles to examine here: the immediate fit on the roster and the broader implications for our defensive identity. Digging into the film shows why this move is inevitable. Hit like and subscribe, then let me know your name and city in the comments. Let us get into it. The Minnesota Vikings are staring down the final days of the offseason, and with training camp officially arriving when rookies report this Sunday followed by veterans on Tuesday, the pressure is mounting for first-year general manager Nolan Teasley to round out our roster. We have a clear vacancy on the defensive edge after the departure of Jonathan Greenard to the Philadelphia Eagles. And the latest talk is that the Vikings should strongly consider signing veteran pass rusher Jadeveon Clowney. Clowney is a former first overall pick who has played 153 games across 12 seasons, amassing 66.5 sacks, 16 forced fumbles, and 3 Pro Bowl appearances. And honestly, while his journeyman status might seem like a concern to some, his performance last season proves he remains a high-level producer. According to Pro Football Focus, Clowney secured an 80.6 pass rush grade, finishing with 8.5 sacks and 40 total pressures. The potential for a one-year deal, with SpotRack listing his market value at $5.7 million, fits well within our remaining $13.7 million in cap space. Many fans feel a mix of cautious optimism and urgency, fearing that our defensive front lacks the veteran presence required to anchor Brian Flores' complex scheme. Adding a proven commodity like Clowney provides that insurance, yet some worry whether his injury history over such a long career could jeopardize our early season momentum. It is a gamble, but one that could pay dividends if he replicates his recent production. However, even if we bring in an experienced hand to bolster the pass rush, we still have to wonder if this defensive unit has the necessary depth at the linebacker position to survive a full grind. Can we truly rely on our current rotation to stay healthy? Or is the front office secretly scrambling to address another position group entirely before the pads start popping? The most startling reality facing us right now is that the Vikings have over $13.7 million in available cap space, while a proven playmaker like Jadeveon Clowney remains unsigned. We find ourselves in this situation largely because of the front office decision to trade Jonathan Greenard to the Eagles back in April, which left a significant hole along our defensive front that needs filling before the season starts. Clowney brings a resume that is far more impressive than his journeyman status implies, featuring 66.5 career sacks, 16 forced fumbles, and 3 Pro Bowl nods across 12 productive seasons. His recent stint with the Cowboys saw him record 8.5 sacks and 40 total pressures, proving he can still thrive in a support role even at age 33. Here's the thing nobody wants to say. While our staff might worry about his injury history, the data shows he has appeared in 44 of 51 possible games over the last 3 years, which is a testament to his durability. Throughout our history, this organization has occasionally shied away from aging veterans in favor of younger developmental projects. But given the current window, taking a calculated risk on a one-year contract valued at $5.7 million, as suggested by SpotRack, seems like a prudent move. Behind closed doors, Nolan Teasley and Kevin O'Connell are likely weighing whether that veteran presence can help mentor our newer edge rushers while simultaneously bolstering Brian Flores' complex defensive scheme. If Clowney can replicate his 2025 performance, he would provide a massive immediate upgrade for a defense looking to prove its worth. Every day we wait increases the chance another team swoops in to sign him, making it imperative that our leadership acts with urgency during these final quiet days before training camp officially begins in Eagan. Moving past the logistical details of training camp, let us pivot to what this roster uncertainty truly signifies for our expectations this season. And that changes everything regarding our defensive trajectory, because the stakes are quite clear. After the departure of Jonathan Greenard to the Eagles, our pass rush needs immediate reinforcement to avoid falling behind in the competitive landscape of the NFC North. Bringing in a veteran like Jadeveon Clowney is not just a luxury. It is a calculated move to stabilize our exterior defense. With over $13 million in available cap space, we have the flexibility to offer a one-year deal near his projected $5.7 million market value without compromising our long-term fiscal health. Adding a player with 66.5 career sacks and a proven ability to generate 40 total pressures would solidify our rotation behind Andrew Van Ginkel and Dallas Turner. This isn't just about bolstering the depth chart. It is about establishing a defensive identity that can pressure quarterbacks throughout a grueling 17-game schedule. When we look at upcoming matchups against division rivals like the Packers, having a seasoned veteran who has thrived in versatile roles is paramount. A high-performing front seven is the engine that will dictate our ability to compete for a playoff spot and challenge for the division title in year one under Nolan Teasley. If we can secure a player who maintained an 80.6 pass rush grade with the Cowboys last season, we significantly shorten the learning curve for our younger edge rushers. We need to be aggressive before other teams identify the same value in the free agent market. By acting now, we provide our defense the best chance to remain balanced and formidable, ensuring that we hit the ground running when the real action begins this fall in Eagan. With training camp looming, Minnesota Vikings fans are rightfully considering how to fortify our pass rush following the departure of Jonathan Greenard to the Eagles. Bringing in a veteran like Jadeveon Clowney offers a compelling upside, as he remains a productive force who can adapt to the defensive scheme of Brian Flores. He managed 8.5 sacks last year and generated 40 total pressures according to Pro Football Focus, demonstrating that he still possesses the disruptive traits that made him a first overall pick. Here's where it gets interesting, as there are other talented free agent pass rushers still seeking employment who could serve as viable alternatives if our front office prefers to explore a deeper menu of options. The inherent risk, however, involves his age and durability, as some might argue that investing $5.7 million in a 33-year-old veteran is a gamble when compared to developing younger talent already on our roster. While SpotTrack projects that market value, it remains to be seen if he can sustain such high-level performance across a full 16-game schedule. I have been analyzing these defensive metrics, and while the production figures from the Cowboys are undeniably impressive, I remain skeptical that he can replicate that exact efficiency in Minnesota at this stage of his career. What I really think is that we should proceed with caution because overpaying for an aging rental might ultimately block the growth of the players we have invested in during the draft. Even so, our $13.7 million in available cap space provides the luxury of taking this calculated risk to ensure our defense stays competitive in the NFC. If the coaching staff believes in his versatility, a short-term deal could indeed provide the defensive spark necessary for a successful season under the leadership of Nolan Teasley. When we synthesize the pending arrival of our rookies and veterans at training camp with the potential addition of a veteran pass rusher, a clear picture emerges regarding the strategic direction of this franchise. As Minnesota Vikings fans, we should feel optimistic about the current roster building because our leadership is actively balancing long-term growth with a necessary short-term infusion of proven talent. The bottom line here is that adding a player like Jadeveon Clowney, who brings 66.5 career sacks and a wealth of experience, would provide a vital insurance policy as we transition into this new era. With over $13.7 million in cap space, General Manager Nolan Teasley has the flexibility to make smart, calculated moves that bolster our defensive front immediately. This approach shows that the front office is not simply waiting for the future to arrive, but is instead positioning our defense to be competitive right now under the guidance of Brian Flores. It is encouraging to see this level of diligence in addressing the edge position, particularly since a veteran like Clowney could serve as a valuable mentor for our younger defensive players while still making a tangible impact on the field. The consistency of a player who has appeared in 44 of 51 possible games over the last 3 seasons is exactly the type of reliability this team needs to thrive in a demanding division. We are at a critical juncture where every roster decision matters for our success in this upcoming season. If you were in charge of the front office, would you commit the $5.7 million in projected market value to sign Jadeveon Clowney today? If you enjoyed the video, do not forget to like it and subscribe to the channel. Skol! I'll see you in the next one.